In Rome, in Piazza Pia near St. Peter's Square, a figure appears to point the way. It is St. Catherine of Siena, a woman of extraordinary spirituality and civic engagement, and one of the few women to be declared a doctor of the Church. Born in Siena in 1347, Caterina Benincasa is one of the most remarkable figures of the Middle Ages. From childhood, she displayed a profound sensitivity, nourished by intense mystical visions.
The first of them occurred when she was around 4 to 5 years of age, and in this vision, Christ himself appeared to her dressed as a pope, and he was with St. Peter and St. Paul, so she was immediately aware of the importance of this intimate relationship between Christ and the Church, between Christ and the papacy.
The young saint from Siena wasn't a mystic detached from the world. On the contrary, she threw herself into the problems of her time.
She was born in a period of crisis. The plague had just arrived in Europe, and it arrived in Siena actually just a year after she was born. A second crisis, which occupied Catherine's entire life, was the Avignon papacy. So the Pope had been living in Avignon since early 1300. Catherine's born in 1347, spent there for many decades, and she spent many years of her life trying to encourage the Pope to return to Rome, because this was where Peter and Paul lived, and the Pope needed to be here in Rome.
And so, despite lacking formal education, she began writing letters to nobles, merchants, clergy, and above all, Pope Gregory XI.
Gregory XI was a bit of a Hamlet in Vatican, so he was really undecided, full of doubts, hesitant. So with him, she had to play the part of the strong counselor who really empowers the Pope and says, don't be afraid, be bold, be ambitious.
Catherine accomplished what many believed impossible. She persuaded Pope Gregory XI to leave Avignon and restore the papal seat to Rome after nearly 70 years of exile. It was 1377, a decision that would change the course of the Church's history. Over time, her relationship with Christ became a constant dialogue, and several visions left a profound mark on her life. From one of these mystical experiences emerged her masterpiece, The Dialogue of Divine Providence.
It was a kind of intuition, intellectual intuition that she had, as if Christ himself taught her the doctrines that are included in the dialogue. The doctrine of the bridge, according to which Christ himself is the bridge that allows us to reconnect with heavens.
Her bond with Christ took the form of a nuptial union. In Pisa, she received the stigmata, though at her request they remained invisible.
A shared secret, so to speak, between her and her spouse, because this is also very important. St. Catherine had this experience of marrying Christ, the mystical wedding with Christ. And when you are one with your spouse, you share everything. You share all the sorrows and all the joys. And she shared them also in her own body.
At Santa Maria del Rosario at Monte Mario, a relic of St. Catherine of Siena, a small hand that influenced the Church's destiny, is preserved.
It's impressive to see that such a great saint had such a small hand, yet it was capable of moving the Pope.
The stigmata marks became visible only after her passing.
Catherine died at 33, completely drained and worn out from fasting and doing penance, giving herself completely, making that sacrifice was, for her, the greatest sign of love, a pure act of generosity. God became human so that humans could become like God. That's Catherine's faith, sacrifice, the sacred act, which she saw as the highest expression of love.
È il supremo segno dell'amore.
Catherine died in Rome, and her remains rest here beneath the altar of Santa Maria sopra Minerva. The sacristy hides the Catherine Room, a 1637 reconstruction made from the original walls of the chamber where she died.
This Baroque architect who actually designed the new environment had a great idea, I think, because he made a hole in the ceiling. So there is this little hole, and there's a fresco representing the dove, which is a symbol of the Holy Spirit, is hovering and is sort of coming from heaven to earth to call Catherine, because that is the very place in which she died, in which she could go to the other side, cross the bridge, and meet Christ in heaven.
The statue of St. Catherine in Piazza Pia faces the bridge to Via della Conciliazione and St. Peter's, a meaningful and intentional detail reflecting her life.
If you stand where Catherine is, she's looking at a bridge, because the bridge for Catherine was Christ. His body on the cross is a bridge that links heaven and earth. Christ is still trying to save us. That's our hope. In spite of whatever we're facing, whatever turmoil, whatever cross, Christ is there, the bridge is there, and we need to cross that bridge.